Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Prospect Watch, not your average everyday hockey podcast. How you doing, Lance?
I'm pretty good, Steel. Of course, joining us, as always, we have a special guest. So let me introduce him for you guys. Today we have the Western Hockey League WHL champion, Seattle Thunderbirds defenseman Bryce Pickford. Bryce, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, man, I am doing great. It is a pleasure to have you on our show and get to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for
for
being here,
those
man.
For
Yeah,
sure,
no
for
problem.
sure. So for those of you that don't really know Bryce, let's just get a little familiar here. He's a 17-year-old right-hand shot defender who is due to be drafted this upcoming offseason. And for one, I'm predicting him to be a bit of a steal in this draft, okay? Uh, Bryce, in my mind, is a complete player, a complete defenseman, not just some guy who's out there scoring a bunch of points and can't play and get back in his own end. Okay, if you look at his stats, you can see that Bryce may not be the flashiest guy out there, but he knows what his job is. He's defensively sound, and that's evident by his plus 25 average from last season playing in the WHL, guys. That is pretty darn special. Let me tell you that, especially with the guys they had there last year. So, moreover, I like the fact that he's tough, Steel. And to prove that, if you watch any Thunderbirds game, you'll probably have noticed Bryce's willingness to drop the gloves to come to the aid of a teammate. But that's enough hyping him up. I'm ready to get some questions in, Steel. What? How about you? If you want to find out more about him, I did recently write an article about him too. You can go to the SteelFlyers website
Yeah.
and check that out, or we should have a link for the article linked in the bottom of this show as well. But Steel, what? Let me start this one off. I'm itching to get a
Yeah, man.
question
I'm here
on
to
him. All
tell you,
right.
man. I'm here to tell you. So, first of all, we'd like to say thank you very much for being here, Bryce. Look, we're not your average everyday hockey podcast. We like to try to take all the different prospects from all over the world, all the different talents, and we like to try to promote you guys and try to get you out there and get you noticed. Okay, that's the whole vision here of Prospect Watch. We get a chance to talk to young talent like yourself, and we get an opportunity to let the fans know more about you and everything like that. So that's what we're gonna do. So Lance, I'm gonna turn it back over to you and let you fly, bro.
All right. So Bryce, in the article I wrote about you, I kind of threw out a little bit of a comparison for just to try to get some of the fans a inkling on just what type of player you really are. And I kind of gave you a Jared Spurgeon mixed with a little Luke Shin's grit in my mind, because you're not the biggest guy out there, but you certainly play like it. That's for sure. Um,
One of the
so. Do you,
toughest.
Right. So do you feel that's a fair comparison, or do you feel your game kind of resembles somebody else you may have idolized growing up?
No, I think that's pretty accurate, and I enjoyed. I read it like a couple hours ago. I thought it was pretty funny with that, but I think it's pretty accurate.
All right.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, it's one thing to try to compare yourself, you know what I mean? But you're basically out there trying to, play your own game. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
speaking of playing your own game, what would you say that you could let the fans know would be one of your best attributes?
I think that my skating's pretty good, but I can also lead the rush. Right. I'm pretty good at offensive, but also I'm pretty good at defensive. So if I'm good at sticking up for teammates, but I think my main thing is creating offense for my team.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that's the best way to do it, bro.
Yeah, I think that was my next question as well. I don't think everybody is aware just how offensively capable you are because, you're a solid defender. Now I'm an old school goalie, so I'm for that type of defender that you are, right? You're defensively responsible, but can take it up when you see the opportunity to. But you're not as offensively it doesn't stand out on the stat sheet. Let's just say that. But from the games I've seen, you've stick handled right through like three defenders before to score a goal. So you have the capability that I think will surprise a lot of teams, and that's why I think you're going to be a bit of a steal. Now, this season's already underway. I think what you play like 3 games so far at this
Yeah,
point.
we haven't start just 3 games.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's just getting started. But can we expect more this season from you offensively now that you're a little bit more veteran player and you know hopefully feel that much more comfortable in the WHL?
Yes, of course. Last year we had an unreal group. It was awesome, but we had so many good players. So I was playing the bottom role, which I still loved it. But I think I'm one of the go-to guys now, so I get to show what I can do.
That's exciting.
There you go. The rules have kind of, you know what I mean, and you started off at the bottom. Now you've paid your dues now, and you're, you know what I mean. And so that goes to show a lot about the kind of game that you play. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, we
Probably the
know
trust too, Steele, that the coach now
exactly.
has in him, right?
Exactly. So now you're going to play in more situations. You're going to be part of, more of the, hey, the team, the game is on the line, and you're going to be out there more on those particular situations, I think. And
Let's hope so.
we know what we can expect from you on the ice. Okay, your grittiness. You play bigger than what you are. You have great stick handling. You're good at skating. But perhaps maybe you could let the fans know what they might be surprised seeing you do off the ice.
In
Uh,
the off season, yeah?
uh, in the off season, I'm training like almost all day. But if I get like days off, I'll go golfing or like I'm a farm boy, so I go hunting and fishing and
Oh,
All right.
nice.
so I don't know if anybody knew anything about that, but I like the
No, I
outdoors.
didn't.
Cool. And what's your favorite like? So do you like fishing more or hunting more, or is it just kind of an equal thing? Is it something you do with your dad, or?
Uh, I have 4 siblings, right? So one older brother, one older sister, and 2 younger brothers. So my younger 2 brothers, I'm closer with because they're still at home. So in the summer, we're always going out in the mornings and hunting, or we'll go out sometimes. Like this summer, we had like this big hunting tent, and
Oh,
we all like
nice.
for like 3 weeks while we're doing the off
There
for
you
like
go.
tough. It was pretty awesome, but
There you
Nice.
yeah,
go.
I think it's our whole family kind of thing. And my dad, me, my sister all do those activities together.
Awesome. That's
So
great.
hunting may be a little bit different from down where we're from. But what are you hunting when you say you're hunting up there?
Uh Geese. We like hunting for geese,
Okay.
or
Okay.
we like deer,
All
Okay.
elk,
right. Elk,
moose,
yeah. All
all
Okay.
those.
right.
There you go.
Yeah.
We don't get many moose down here our way.
Yeah, yeah. No elk,
No
no elk
elk.
bleaking. Yeah.
Since I've been down in the States, I've seen like maybe 2 animals, and it's just crazy because I'm not used to that. Seeing them
Yeah.
Right.
all.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
awesome.
go.
That's definitely something that I didn't know about you. That's cool, man. That you're an outdoor guy and roughing it out in the outdoors, trying to
You
snag
definitely
yourself.
fit right in here with us.
Yeah, yeah,
A
Yeah,
little
man.
yep.
different.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I'm still enamored by how you played in a league with guys like, Connor Bernard and Zach Benson, Nate Danielson, Braden Yeager, Chris Stahl, all of that. And you were still somehow able to be a plus player last season. In saying that, was there one player last year or maybe this year that every time they stepped on the ice, opposition wise, that you kind of played up in your skates and really were focused that much more to when they came on the ice that you were aware of them?
Yeah, I think our team always kind of knew who the top guys were on other teams. So as soon as we get on the ice, I'm looking around, seeing if I'm seeing like Crystal or like all those top guys, right? So if I'm going out there, I'm not going to be like unaware of who I'm on the ice with, because some of them are very good and they can
Yeah.
attack you and expose you very easily. So I think it's important to know who you're playing against, and when they're on the ice, you're like extra cautious, but you also want to play your game. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was the same way when I played in net, was always cautious of everybody, but definitely aware of where that one particular player was if they were on the ice at all times. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I think you're working your way to being one of those types of players. At least that's kind of how we see you. I mean, anyway, So we've had some great players that we've had on the show, and we feel that you're a very well rounded, very gifted young defenseman. Defenseman is a much more difficult position to play. It's something that you have to take a little bit more time to learn to play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with all of that, why don't you tell us what it was like winning the championship last year? What was that like for you, man?
It was unbelievable. Like the feeling when we won was like, I can't even explain it. It was just surreal. It was awesome. It was like a feeling that I've never felt before, and it was just great with the culture we had there and our teammates. It was amazing.
Awesome. Do you guys get like some kind of ring or something, or are you guys gonna get something?
We got sized up a couple months ago, but it should be coming in soon, I think. But I
Oh,
don't know
that's
what it's.
exciting.
Curious.
Oh,
All right.
dude. Well, listen. When you get your ring, right? You gotta ring us up, right? So we'll have a show and we can show the ring and everything, right?
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
man.
All right.
That'd be
All
awesome.
right.
Yeah,
That'd be
buddy.
cool. All right. Well, let's now talk about something near and dear to my heart as well as yours, I think, and that's the art of fisticuffs. Um, the game is a little different from when I played, and I was a goalie who led the team in penalty minutes, fighting majors, and suspensions.
A
But
goalie. A good
from a
No,
goalie.
goalie,
that's
from goal, yeah, yeah,
basketball. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. But I feel playing physical has definitely been diminished over the years. It's and ultimately fighting still plays a major part in the game. But can you speak on that, on your decision to be, still willing to be that physical, that able to drop the gloves and willing and be a kind of a policeman out on that ice out of sorts? What made you want to be that, play that kind of way?
So growing up, we had this little group, and so I did wrestling for like 3 years, 4 years. So I got
Okay.
used to getting thrown around and learning all that stuff and getting bullied with, getting bullied, all that stuff. It was good for me. And we did boxing, MMA, all those things for like 7 years, like straight.
Awesome.
We just practiced it. So that definitely came in to help me in the fights, of course. But it's a little scary going into the fight. Like I've never went into a fight confident, but I think it's sometimes you just have to answer the bell, or if your teammate gets hit, you have to stick up for a teammate, and no matter how big or how tough that guy is, you have to go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I see that for sure. And that's, kind of what I always did, always at the ready. So I can definitely appreciate that. And I think it's a lost art, but, guys like you, I applaud because they keep that, up. You definitely don't want to have your star player go down and get a cheap shot and, nobody do anything about it. So
Yeah.
guys
It
like you are
opens up the
definitely
ice
needed.
too.
Yeah,
It opens up
yeah.
the ice because like our skill guys, you don't want them worried about their guy over there, and he knows if you touch him, you're gonna have to answer the bell real quick. Like I'm not gonna even give you the chance, but
Right.
it opens up a lot of ice, and our skilled guys are definitely a lot more confident when they have the puck.
See, now
Good,
that's
good.
coming from a man who speaks from experience,
There you go.
right? Did you hear how just so matter of fact he said that, right? It opens
Yeah.
up the ice for, and you're exactly right, Bryce. That you're exactly right because that's exactly how that's supposed to be. You're
Yep.
supposed to have that fear. You're supposed to know that hey, when I step out on the ice, Pickford guys skating around.
Yeah.
I'm
People are going to
good.
have their heads up, yeah?
Yeah, right. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'll play good this shift.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? So, okay. You played last season as well as you. I mean, as well as you played last season. Is there something that you could maybe improve on? Something that you need to work on during this season, or something that you worked on during the off season before this season started?
Yeah, I think last year I was a little scared at the blue lines to make like offensive moves in the offensive blue lines.
Hmm.
I just thought I didn't have enough space, and but when I look back on my instat, that I always have way more time than I thought. So this summer I worked a lot on that, and this year I'm excited to show it.
Yeah, that split second more that you take to see the play and make the pass makes the world of difference. And that, I can see why you were a little jittery in a sense to get rid of the pucks, because it's a whole different league, and some of those guys are coming pretty darn quick. But I'm glad you're gaining that confidence and worked on that, because that will make the difference between a good defenseman and a great defenseman, I think. So
But it shows. It
yes, it
shows
definitely
though
shows. It
through
definitely
your
shows.
game. It shows through your game that you're doing those things, that you're learning those kinds of things. You know what I mean? So it shows through your game.
Or
Continuing to grow for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right, Lance, go ahead, man.
All right. Do you bother yourself with worrying yet about what round you may be drafted in, or are you just kind of taking it all game by game at this point and just dealing with it as it comes and when it comes?
if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought about it at all. But I'm just
Awesome.
trying to be in the present because I don't want to worry about any of the rounds. If I get drafted in the sixth round or in the second round or the first round, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna show the team what I can do, and I'm gonna prove myself.
I think that's a pretty good answer, Steele. What do you think?
Yeah, buddy. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely a pretty good one. All right, so I ask this of every player that we have on here because I used to be a chef. Okay, so do you have any like special meal that you like to have pregame, or do you like to cook, or I mean, talk to me about that special pregame meal, man. Do you have one?
I don't really have one. Everybody goes with pasta, but like I'm kind of like I'll have it. Like I'm not a picky eater at all. Like I'll eat anything, but I'll go with anything for pregame. Like I'll have a steak or steak and salad or a salad. Like I'll have anything. It doesn't even matter to me. I'm just so used to being raised and not being picky of what I'm eating.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
Okay.
a big a sign of a kid coming from a pretty big family, right? Just
Yeah,
be happy you got food in
survive
your
on my
belly
own.
and go with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
Yeah.
care as long
Okay.
as there's some food in front of you, right?
as long as there's food, I just need to get it.
There you
Yeah. Yeah.
go.
Wrestle somebody for it if you have
Yeah,
to.
right.
All right.
You're wrestling your brothers and sisters for your food.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, while we're talking about pregame routines or rituals and stuff like that, do you have any weird superstitions or rituals that you do before a game?
Uh, I have a cold shower after my team warm up. That's like the only thing I really do just to get the blood going and get all pumped up. But that's really all it is. I have like I'll do our team stretch. I'll do my own thing, but like there's nothing like really weird other than like a cold shower. But I don't do like all the weird stuff that some of my teammates do. But
Well, who's the weirdest routine, if you can say, if you want to? Not who's
uh,
got the oddest thing
the
that you would
the
pick
oddest
out?
thing last year. It was last year. Jared Davidson.
Okay.
He had like some weird things. Like he would do the same thing every time. Like same timeline. Like every time on the clock. When 7 came on, it would be like 7 on the clock. Like he was like just on point with everything. I just found it very interesting, but like a little weird.
Very routine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
There
There's
you
always
go.
one on a team. There's
I know.
always
There's
one guy
always
on a team.
fun.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome. One of the things I want to ask you about is, do you, based off everything that you've done last year, I mean, you guys won the championship and everything, do you have any goals for yourself for this year?
Uh, I think we're gonna go for it again. I think that's our main goal. I think we had a really good year last year with our team, and our team was unreal. But we lost 11 guys, which is a lot. But we
Wow.
still have still have a lot of guys still on our team, and I think we're gonna show the league what's going on, and I think we're gonna go deep again. I think that the end goal is a championship, of course, and this year, hopefully, not hopefully, we're going to win the Mem Cup.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what we like to
I
see,
like the
man.
confidence there. I like the confidence. Anything particularly for yourself though? Goals, not necessarily just the team.
Uh, I don't really want to get too carried away. The end goal, of course, for everybody is to get drafted.
Okay.
But I think the goal is just to be in the present. I don't want to get too carried away in the future, but the end goal, of course, is to get drafted.
There you go.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
Steele, do you have anything else? Well, I don't want to keep this guy too long. I know
No,
it's
I don't want to
No,
keep
you
you
guys.
too long.
all right.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Um, there's one thing that I would like to ask you in closing. What kind of advice could you give the next crop of young players, like the guys that are like your brother's age that are coming up, that are going to be the next crop of players? What kind of advice would you give those guys?
Be juiceful, like every day. Bring the juice. Like be excited to be there because the game's awesome. It flies by. I'm still fortunate. I'm still young, and I know that, so I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts. But every day, try and put a smile on your face and cheer the guys up because it definitely helps your culture coming and bringing the juice. And if you're not juiceful, you're useful.
Hey, all right. I like that, man. I
All
like
right.
that.
You ought to,
Get a
put
T-shirt or something, you know.
yeah, something.
Yeah,
Yeah, get that made up. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's pretty good, man. All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what. What a pleasure. What an absolute joy it's been talking with you, Bryce. Um, we feel that your skill and talent will definitely net you on a team somewhere drafted in this coming draft. That's what we feel. Lance wrote a great article about you. We featured you in one of our Prospect Watch shows as one of our hidden gems of this upcoming draft in the 2024 draft, and we feel that that's exactly what you are, a hidden gem, a steal, because you're that type of player that most teams really need and most teams really want and covet, and we're hoping that there's going to be a lot of them out there fighting for you, man. So like I said, from the SteelFlyers All Sports Network and Prospect Watch, thank you very much for being here, bro.
thanks for having me. I had a blast answering all these questions. It was fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Guys, there's going to be a lot of defensemen in this next draft, but like Steele said, and like I said in my article, this guy in particular, I think, is going to be a steal out of this draft because he is so well rounded. He is a complete defender. And so many guys are either just so focused on the offense that they're horrible defenders, or just such good shutdown defenders that they don't even bother playing offense. You're getting the best of both worlds out of this, and even a third piece of that in the physicality that he can bring, and being that policeman that we talked about. So I think this guy's going to be a steal. Whoever winds up with him is going to be, thankful for it, and the other 30 some odd teams in the NHL are going to regret passing him up. That's for sure. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. And Bryce, thank you for coming on and joining us. We'll definitely have to check back with you if we can at some point later on, or maybe even after you get drafted.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed this. Thanks for having me, and I will definitely be back.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for checking out Prospect Watch. Lance is your host, and I'm SteelFlyers, your co-host. And we were here with Bryce Pickford, the great defenseman from the WHL champion Seattle Thunderbirds. Thank you very much for checking us out. We will catch you on the next episode of Prospect Watch.